I'm going to open my camera. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Erasmus Expeditions with a very professional presentation of a brand new trilogy that we are starting Friday, 2 days from tonight. Tonight, though, we are going to be doing session 0 for a new game called Nowhere to Hide. We are going to be using a system called Cortex Prime. So we'll kind of be going over some of the pieces of what makes that system run tonight as we help build characters and kind of discuss what we're going to be doing for our game. This game is going to take place in a setting of Baron's creation, all the way on the other side, at the bottom there, called Elsewhere. I know, surprise, Baron! You had no idea this was coming. um,
What?
what? Hold up.
Hey, I
Um,
made this part of it? No way.
yeah, it's a really cool setting. It's very unique. It's kind of like an alternative Americana, somewhere undisclosed between like World War I and the Vietnam era, kind of pre-digital.
It's
But
definitely
it's a
this
really cool
side of
setting.
the railroad rainbow.
Exactly, exactly. Not quite over the rainbow, but right before you get there. Um, no, it's a really interesting setting. I was lucky enough to play in a trilogy that Baron ran for us using Daggerheart, which was my first exposure to Daggerheart. That's really cool. Um, but yeah, I'm very excited to get this off the ground. This idea has been brewing in my brain pan for a little while, so I am thrilled to finally be bringing it to people. People, yeah, that's who watches these things. So speaking of people, I'm going to pass it over to some of these people, and they can introduce themselves, tell you where you may be able to find them on the internet, plug anything that they have going on, and then we can get started. But before we do that, and before I let them drive the car, because God knows what's going to happen once that starts, um, if you have a problem with foul language and mature subject matter, then now is the time to change the channel. I don't know what to, but not this. So, if those kinds of things don't bother you, then welcome. Okay, so let's do introductions. I'm going to start with the woman right beside me here with Karen, because she looks like she's chewing something.
Always. Yeah.
Right,
I'm
naturally.
I'm a people and I'm one of the people here, so that's cool. I'm glad to be here. You can find me here. You can also find me at Mini Terrain Domain. And those are pretty much the only places you can find me because I'm a hermit. Um, yeah, uh, I'm really excited about this. I was lucky enough to also get to play in that dagger. Well, kind of play. I didn't get to really play, but anyway, that's my fault. It's super exciting. I love the setting. It's just it's chef kiss. So thank you, Baron. And I am so glad that Jeremy is going to run this and I get to actually get to dive into it once more. And yeah, so I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the players and everything that's going to go on tonight and cannot wait for the shenanigans to start. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Jason. Which Jason? You guys can decide.
That would make sense to be the
Gonna have
Jason next to you. Go, Jason next to Karen. Other Jason.
hello, I am second Jason. I too am a peepo. Um, no, I don't have anything to plug. I'm just a dude who likes to play games. I I got hooked on the premise of this. I've never played Cortex Prime, so this is completely new to me. But Baron's setting seems really fascinating, and I can't wait to dive in. And that's really all I have. Welcome, enjoy, and all that good jazz.
Hell yeah, man. Happy to have you here as always, Jason. It's good to get the chance to play with you, man. Doesn't happen often enough. All right. Next up is Sarah.
Yay! Hi everybody. You know me as Alice X Ann on all of the socials. Mouth words, no work today. Um, Find me on Mini Terrain Domain every other Tuesday with the lovely Karen. We are in Sky Metal Iron Gods. We just played that last night. That was a little crazy. When we come back to streaming again, Hijinks for All. I'm here sometimes and I love it. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited to try out this system specifically just because it's weird and I love weird. I am very, very excited to try this. But yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Always glad to be here with the crew. I feel like every person I play with is now part of my crew, so y'all are great. I love you guys.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Cortex is definitely weird. It's built differently than any of the other game systems that I've ever played. So it usually takes a little bit to kind of get the way that it works. But I think that it will be a really good fit for elsewhere. I hope that it will. So I'm eager to run it as best as I know how. Now, do not take this as a tutorial, because God help you if you do. But we're going to do our best. Speaking of our best, next up is Baron.
Holy shit. This is the best one I've ever got. Usually it's tragic. I'm Baron. Don't find me on the internet. I'm over on MTD on Mondays. I'm here on Sundays until this Sunday when I kill everybody. Come hang out. It'll be fun. You'll probably see me again here in a couple months. Got some more stuff coming. My friends to the side of me here can attest to that. And yeah, I made the setting. That's about all I got.
It's just enough. Thank you, Baron. All right, speaking of just enough, next up we've got Nathan.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming. I should have been prepared, but I wasn't. I'm Nathan, also known as Dimension 119. You can find me here as often as I can possibly get here, that's for sure. I tried not to say no to a game with these great people, and I've only interacted with a couple of you a couple of times, so I don't know your Discord handles yet. So I'm seeing faces now and attaching them to those Discord handles, and this cast is a lot more stacked than I thought it was when we've just been chatting on Discord. So I'm even more excited now. I think I've actually played with everybody at the table this time. I haven't played with Baron, but I've played under Baron. So that'll be fun. I don't know.
You were across from me. You were never under me yet.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll have to change that. I know absolutely nothing about Cortex Prime. Going into this completely new, a little nervous about that, but the setting is like seems to be my bread and butter. It's this kind of weird, just I don't know. All you had to do was put Twin Peaks in the setting dock, and I was immediately sold. I know we have some other kind of areas we're focusing on or whatever, but I can't wait to get in here, dig into this character, and just see what happens in this kind of weird place. Also, you can find me by searching Dimension 119 everywhere. I'm also part of Two Beards and a Producer on YouTube. We do survival games, and you can check that out. And I also may or may not be putting a small project together that you'll see somewhere on the internet at some point, that's connected to Jeremy and somehow.
This time I get to be under. It's share and share alike here at the Erasmus Expeditions. Hey,
Everybody's so excited.
I fucking warned y'all. You chose to stay around for this long, so if you're not running for the hills yet, well then, welcome. Speaking of running for the hills, last but certainly not least, other Jason? Jason.
I'll take it.
The bottom?
I'll take it. Yes, I am Jason Osorio. Always happy to be here on the Erasmus Expeditions with Like Nathan was saying, just an incredible group of folks. Of course, as always, thank you, Jeremy, for hosting, and thank you, Baron, for creating this setting. I also had the privilege of playing in that Daggerheart Elsewhere trilogy, which was a lot of fun. Also, I don't remember exactly what time, but I know Sunday of this week. I think it's like 1 p.m. is the last Saga of the Ards game. Is that right? Something like that. I know it's a little bit different than our usual time, but
1
very
p.m.
excited to
Eastern.
see. Thank you. 1 p.m. Eastern. Very excited to see how that wraps up this Sunday and how we all die horribly. But yeah, I love the United States of Elsewhere. It's so weird and mythical and like vaguely like Lovecraftian, but also just so grounded in Americana. It's really, really interesting. I'm very excited to see what our characters look like, both with this system and in this setting.
Hell yeah. Yeah, like I have the opportunity, the fortune to play in a lot of different like fantasy settings. And I love most of all of the ones that I've ever played in. And it's always fascinating to see other settings. Contemporary is kind of probably not exactly the right term, but something like this, where it's more of a modern setting, is always a lot of fun to kind of to explore as a different mind frame. But this is one of the first times where I've ever really just like looked at someone else's setting and said, "Oh man, I need to do something in that." So then we were joking about it, and we made the somebody, I don't even remember who it was, made the joke about there being a liminal honky tonk, and I was like, oh, okay, and well, here we are. So I'm really excited to have so many new players to Cortex. Like I said, I hope that I manage to run it in a way that makes it fun and interesting for you guys. So, Session Zeros, if you're out there and you have no idea what a Session Zero is, it's basically a meet cute where you get around with the players and the game master, and you talk about kind of the tone and the setting, and go over any kind of like house rules that you might be using. Safety tools is a big part of Session Zeros. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing tonight. First of all of you are not new to this, but I go ahead and mention it every single time I do a Session Zero, just in case. We're going to go over the social contract. We're going to be using the honor system. If you want to roll digital dice or physical dice, it does not matter to me. I don't have to see them. You don't have to prove anything to me. Just obviously don't cheat. All you know that. Don't be a dick. Make sure you're muting when you're not talking. Make sure you're taking turns. Shine the light on others. All of you are very good at doing that. That's why I asked all of you to be in this. So, yeah, typical shit. As far as safety tools go, we will be using the lines and veils, as well as the red light, green light system. So, lines and veils, does anybody not know what lines and veils are or how they work? No? Okay, cool. Then I'll just do it super quick, brief. Lines are things that will not be featured in the game. They won't be probably even mentioned. Veils are things that will probably be mentioned, but we won't explain or describe in any real detail. This is just a way for us to communicate what is okay with us and what is not at the table. So, yeah. Those are in the Google Doc that I shared with y'all. So if you have any that you need to add to that list, please go ahead and do. There's no reason to have to explain any of it or anything like that. Well, it is just respected. And then during the game, the traffic light system is just, if something is bothering you and you need the scene to change, or you need an element of it to no longer be focused on, all you have to do is either type or call out red light, and we will stop what we're doing immediately and shift gears, because we don't want to make people uncomfortable at the table. That's the last thing we want to do. Similarly, if something is kind of starting that direction for you, it's starting to become a problem, but it's not necessarily causing an extreme reaction from you yet, then you can call yellow light or type yellow light in the chat, and we'll kind of pump the brakes, kind of steer away from that topic, and not proceed any deeper into it. Do I have any questions from anybody so far?
I have a question on lines and veils. I noticed in our veils, spoiled milk is in there. Like, how veiled do we need to keep that? Because that might come into play with my character's backstory.
I mean, I can mute it, but it does get to me. I can't lie.
I'm only joking.
I mean, I put it in there just because it's affected me in the past, and so
Yeah, hey,
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
just-
it's there for.
Yuck.
That's exactly what it's there for. It's exactly what it's there for. Okay. This game in particular, I did want to go ahead and touch on the trigger warnings about this game in particular. This game will depict topics of pregnancy, childbirth, adoption, endangerment of a child, and domestic violence. So, as long as everybody is okay with that being the case, again, we probably, I don't know how deep we'll dive into some of these things, but they will come up. If it becomes a problem in the game, even if you're agreeing to it now, please, hit the red light or the yellow light if you need to. Do not hesitate. Okay, any other questions? No? All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about the system, about Cortex Prime. Hopefully I can get this to come up in the space beneath me here. Haha, it worked. Zootadu. All right. So I'm not going to go deep in the weeds on this. It is available to everybody, so if you need to read it closer, once we kind of go over this bird's eye view, then absolutely do so. Again, if you have any kind of questions or things don't make sense, please stop, shoot me a message, whatever. But basically, Cortex is kind of like a box of Lego or like Lincoln Logs. It's modular pieces that a particular table for a specific game can pick and choose which of the pieces that they want to use for their game and which pieces that they do not want to use. And the system handles that really well. It doesn't affect a lot of things. Kind of like with Dungeons & Dragons, if you were to try to play a game that had no magic and you were going to rip the spell system out of D&D, there would be a lot about Dungeons & Dragons that really wouldn't play correctly. You'd have to do a lot of like explaining in the moment and changing. Cortex is built in a very different way. So from the ground up, we get to choose the pieces that we want to utilize that will help tell the kind of story that we're looking to tell. So conflict resolution effectively works in the way where anytime that you're going to roll, you will build a dice pool. That dice pool is going to be built on you drawing the die from the different trait sets that you have. So any roll that you make could potentially have an emotion tied to it, could have an affiliation tied to it. You're going to gather the dice, basically anything that's applicable, and that forms your dice pool. You're going to roll all of those dice. Any ones I need to know about because they're called hitches and is a potential currency that I can activate. But when you roll all of those dice, you're going to select any two of them to total the number value on them together, and that will be the result of your roll. But then you pick
May I
a
ask a
third
question?
die. Go ahead.
May I ask a question? When we're building
Absolutely.
this, So we're definitely building dice off of abilities, right? As
Mhm.
well as the emotions and the rolls, or what else is
Correct.
involved?
Yeah.
Are those the only three
No.
areas?
So anything that's labeled as a trait set has a die associated with it in some way. And that's the die that will get added to your dice pool. We'll get a little bit deeper into what those are in just a second.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Cool.
but yes, to answer your question, all of those things will generate dice for your dice pool. Okay. So,
Excellent. Thank you, Jeremy.
yeah, absolutely, man. Like that's what we're here for. So once you have made the roll, like I said, you'll take 2 dice from that dice pool, and that will form your total. When you add them together, the numerical value that's showing on those dice, you'll add those together, and that's your total. A third die is given as your, what is it called? Effect? Yes, your effect die. And that, the only thing that matters about your effect die is the die type that it is. The larger the die type, the more effective the outcome. And there's a lot of things that plays with that, like effect dice that are higher than other things effects dice causes things to happen. Again, we'll get into that in the game. But anything that is a 1, you cannot use to form your total or use as your effect die. Make sense? Okay, perfect. So that's the gist of the conflict resolution system that's at work. This is the engine that kind of drives everything else. Now, if your total beats the opposing total of the dice pool that you're going up against, then you've succeeded. Okay. Now, talking about trait sets, there's 2 different kinds of trait sets in Cortex. There's prime trait sets, and then there's just regular trait sets. Prime trait sets will be a part of every single dice pool that you form in the game. So what that means is anytime that I call for a roll during this game, you will roll a distinction, you will roll an emotion, and you will roll a roll, R-O-L-E. So everything that you do, you'll pull from those 3 at the very least. Okay? And then we'll get into the other trait sets here in just a moment. As far as our prime trait sets go, distinctions, we've kind of gone over it a little bit in our chat, but just for the people who are playing along at home as well. We've got 3 distinctions, and when you utilize a distinction, when a particular action or something that you're trying to attempt would fall under one of those 3 things, you're going to usually do a D8. That's the die that you'll take and add to your dice pool. However, there will be times where it will make sense that your distinction is acting against what you're trying to do. So, for example, I think one of the ones that I gave Malcolm Reynolds in the Firefly game was something about being a hothead. So there were times where it benefited him and he got his D8, but there's other times where that would blow up in his face and get him in more trouble than it would normally. And if that's the case, then instead of the D8 getting added to your dice pool, you add a D4 instead. And the reason that is because a D4 has a 25% chance of rolling a hitch, a 1, which means that you cannot use it for your total or your effect die, and also I get to potentially use it. So it complicates things. Does all that make sense? Yeah? Cool. I know these move fast. This is just kind of how this goes. But if I am moving too fast, please tell me to pump the brakes.
And that's a choice we make, right? With the distinctions to move from a D8 to a D4.
Correct.
Or
there might be a situation where I think in this case it makes the most sense that, this would be a D4 instead of your D8. But typically that's going to be on y'all.
When we do that, or when you do that, we gain a plot point for our character to, I assume, inject something. later.
Plot point is kind of a meta currency that you can spend on a lot of different things in Cortex Prime. But yeah, a plot point is a good thing for y'all. It's something you can cash in later, almost like heroic inspiration in D&D.
Yeah, sure. So it's like taking it's like making a negative result of the immediate more likely, so that you have this hero or plot point to use later.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to put it.
Perfect.
So for our particular game, I kind of gave you leading questions for your 3 distinctions. And the first one is, what does home mean to you? Is it a physical place where you feel safest? Is it among those you trust most? Or does your wanderlust demand this to mean the journey as opposed to the destination? The second distinction is, what are you chasing after? What drives you on a day-to-day basis? What shape does your ambition embody? And the third distinction is, who do you see in the mirror? What measure of person gazes back? What defines you most? Does anybody have answers for these distinctions that they are willing to share with the class?
Could you please
Sarah?
repeat that last one, because my character sheet had "What does home mean to you" 3 times.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, the character sheets had that.
What clown made those character sheets? I want his
that's so
name
silly.
now.
I know.
Wonder.
Good news. I have a really good answer for my first question.
So yeah, what
Thought
was that?
about it
that third
3
one? Sorry.
times.
The third one was,
Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
it was, who do you see in the mirror?
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
And it's, who looks back at you? What defines you?
What are you waiting for?
I will make sure to change those on the character sheet and get a new one out to y'all. Sorry about that.
I'm on download, so I can just do it myself.
I was gonna say,
Sweet.
I just did mine. I did mine by myself.
Well, look at all of you industrious folk.
It's a good thing I didn't print mine out.
Yeah, me too. I'm on pen and paper, guys. We're going old school.
I mean, I'm literally pen and paper. I'm writing mine down as we're going.
Perfect.
Yeah, same.
Perfect.
I never leave home without my dice and my notebook. So.
It's a good rule, man. Okay, so sounded like Sarah has something to share.
I have at the very least the first 2.
Mhm.
I'm still kind of working on who do you see in the mirror,
Sure,
but
sure.
I have what does home mean to you? And I put, home is Mema and Pepa's house. The smell of a roast in the oven, fresh wool being spun into yarn, and bone dust covering the floor while Peppa carves Mema a new crochet hook.
Excellent. Okay. I do want to say, while having all of that on hand would be fantastic, you do also probably want to come up with a 2-word or like a 3-word phrase that kind of encapsulates that for you.
Okay.
So you can reference it in the game, as far as like, I'm calling on this distinction.
Oh, I got a good one. I think I got a good one.
Perfect.
So,
I also have one for what does home mean to you. It's the only one I was able to think about. I will consider the other 2, but I have a pretty decent idea. But
Yeah, what you got, man?
What does home mean to you? It's a real simple, what fucking home.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
Dude,
Yeah,
we
man.
got so close together on that one.
Oh, yeah?
Mine's very similar.
I'm totally unsurprised, Karen.
What is yours, Karen?
Mine's not quite as bleak in one way. My home is, I'm still searching for it because I've never had it, but someplace I can be who I truly am.
Oh, okay.
So yours is TBD.
TBD, exactly.
TBD.
I have home was a small diner serving hot coffee and a slice of pie. not a specific diner, but wherever
Mhm.
Sam was kind of laying his head at the time. That's where he felt the most at home.
Perfect. Oh yeah. Anybody else?
So my 2 was kind of like a scene like Sarah's, encapsulated by the 2 words union dues.
Ah,
Home for me is standing in line to punch my ticket to clock in for the day. And it's like a bunch of dudes smoking cigarettes.
hell yeah.
That's good. I like that one.
I feel that.
Already.
I
So
like
much.
the blue coveralls,
Mm-hmm.
metal lunch pails.
Already everybody's got so much like context.
For mine, for the first one, for what does home mean to you? The simple phrase that I chose is anything for Barbara, because that is Freddie's
Mm,
beloved wife, Barbara Combs. And he is willing to do basically anything for her, and she is home to him in this particular situation, for
fantastic.
better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
I'm sure there won't be any weight to that decision later.
No, I'm sure it'll all be just fine.
Okay, perfect. The second one is what are you chasing after? Again, what drives you on a day-to-day basis? What shape does your ambition embody? Anybody have a good one for that?
I did just come up with like a 2 to 3 word phrase for this one, but I also have a
Okay.
nice little
Yeah,
spiel.
yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Those are never going to be a bad thing.
So my phrase is, well, I think that's technically 4 words. Keep the old ways alive.
Oh, also, yeah, that's fantastic.
And what are you chasing after is we need to keep the old traditions alive. What lives in the woods is only getting closer the farther we slip away from the old ways.
Okay. Incredible.
Second, Jason really did that.
Wait, what did you say? Sorry. Oh, sure. I have something for that. For what are you chasing after? I have just simple seeking salvation. Specifically, Freddie made a deal with a particular entity in Elsewhere called the Corn Mother. Actually, something to do with his wife Barbara, and he is seeking to get out of this promise that he made in some way, shape, or form, before something much worse happens.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
You know, making deals with weird half crow, half woman gods.
Like you do.
Like you do.
Now, you
It is-
shouldn't have done that.
I
It is kind
know,
of
I
adjacent
know.
thing to do.
It is very much adjacent thing to do.
It is. I love it.
Svedna.
Listen, that was inherited. That's different.
I mean, if we're going to start naming characters, we'll be here
I
all
mean,
night.
apparently. I like my warlocks. What can I say?
Anybody else?
Yeah, I just right off the top of my head, if you want like a quick little phrase, would be the next
Mhm.
mile behind me.
Ooh.
More specifically, trying to run and forget. Patterson likes to drown his memory with whiskey and a cheap woman.
There you go.
For Sam, for lack of a better term, it's sanity. He's not insane. Well, probably not. But his last case did have him very much questioning his sanity, his reality, and even to the point of if there was even good left in the world.
Mm-mm. Spicy.
Buy that man a drink.
Mm-hmm. Or a cheap woman. ¿Por qué no dos?
I'm both.
Anybody else?
I have yet to answer this one because I don't know, because she's lost. That's why she's here. And she's
Fair
new.
enough.
So I'll have to get back to you on that one.
I guess, Karen. Yeah, all good. All good. We haven't gotten Barons yet, right?
No, I don't really have a clever way to say it. That's what's killing me.
Oh, that's okay.
No,
You
it's
can
not
come up with
okay.
that, and
God damn
you
it!
can come up with it later.
It's supposed to come to me immediately. Um, I'm in the pursuit of opportunity.
Oh.
I'm a bygone relic of the Dust and Steel Rebellion, where the Union Busters came for us guys, and I think I was a pipe fitter. My union was busted early on. I fought in this war. Didn't really have anything to go back to. So I'm looking, I hear there's work out west. I'm headed out west. I don't really know what that means or how it means to get there, but that's where I'm going.
Okay, was that everybody's? I think it was everybody's. All right. The last distinction is, who do you see in the mirror? What measure of person gazes back? What defines you most?
I did come up with something while everyone
Yeah.
was talking. Who do you see in the mirror? The long version is Mema, the woman who taught me to never whistle at night, make sure there's love in every stitch, and always question the sudden silence. And the short phrase would be the new root doctor.
Okay. Hell yeah. I love that.
For Freddie, for his "Who do you see in the mirror?" My simple phrase is running out of time. We've not to be a little spicy on the front end, but I know you and me, Jeremy, we talked about some stuff before this little session zero regarding this. But yeah, I mean, this is a guy that is running out of time. He's a sort of a traveling boxer, or he was, so he's very kind of scarred and beaten up. But yeah, I think that just that phrase of running out of time is clearly what defines him at this point. It's also probably how he ended up in Nowhere at this point.
Oh yeah.
I think Agent Sam Wolf sees nothing, no one, a failure. He just sees a washed up agent who failed to bring justice to a killer.
Mm.
So I haven't got a clever phrase for this either, but I'll Samantha sees, when she looks in the mirror, she sees I don't want to copy nothing, but it's no one. There's no face, there's no emotion, there's just this, like a mannequin almost, right? Just nothing person.
Cornelius sees Leviticus Bradburn, his father.
Mm. Yeah. Again, see, like already, just in those three statements, distinctions, whatever you want to call them, we have a really well-defined idea of who these characters kind of are at their core. I love that. Did we cover everybody's? I think we did.
I think I'm the only one left. Who do you see in the mirror? He sees a 19-year-old Patterson, a terrified Marine, and the echo of whatever they saw in Germany that kept pieces of them all.
Okay. Fuck yeah. God, man. Okay. Excellent stuff, everybody. Off to a smashing fucking start. Okay, so distinctions represent our first prime trait set. So what that means is every single roll that you make, you're going to call upon one of these three things about your character. It'll fall under one of those three categories for you. The second prime trait set that we're going to be using are emotions. So emotion is going to drive everything that happens in our story. The emotions that I used are taken from Inside Out, the Pixar movie, with one added in to keep it at a nice round 6 numbers. So those emotions are anger, desire, disgust, fear, joy, and sadness. So this one is a little counterintuitive. It's not actually a trait set from Cortex. This is something that I added for the Firefly game that I ran with Cortex, and it worked really, really well. So I want to keep it, especially because it feels like it has a pretty solid home in a setting like Elsewhere. So emotion is about the die that you assign to each of these emotions is how your character is in control of themselves when they're under the effects of that emotion, but also how well they're able to leverage that emotion in other people. So essentially the breakdown is, if you have a higher die type, you're more than likely going to use that as often as you can, which means that most of the scenes and the things that your character does are going to be involving that particular emotion. So whatever emotions are most core or most central to the way that your character does things, that's what you should give the higher dice. Lower dice means, again, typically that's going to result in more complications. So those are the emotions that your character does not have as much control over. Those are the emotions that take control of your character more often than not. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope so.
So yeah, so we all seem like we're playing fairly bleak characters.
I get that feeling.
I think that's fair to say. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was
I'm
about to
upbeat
say.
and cheery.
I was about to say, no. Opal is actually very giddy and happy. She's just a little spooky is all.
very good. But so with the emotions, the ones we have least like hold on are the ones that we assign the lower dice to kind of represent that emotion is going to take us more often than not. Is that
correct?
Sort of. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You'll be less in control of the emotions that have lower dice.
Got you.
Yeah.
We have 5 dice with 6.
So you should have, there are 6 emotions. You're going to give one of them a D10, and then you're going to give 2 of them D8s, and 3 of them D6s.
Got you. 1, 2, 3. Got you.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody have any other questions or concerns about emotions and how they're going to work in the game? Okay. All right. Moving right along. I don't think that there's any real reason to go through everybody's emotional die assignments unless you just really feel like you want to, which is perfectly fine.
Do you want them? Do you see if there's any reason for us to send them to you? We don't have to go through them now, but
no, I don't need them. There might be times where I will call on a particular one because I think it fits, a particular situation. Mm-hmm. Usually if it's something where I think your character is in danger of kind of blowing up or losing, control of, the situation, I might call on a particular emotional role.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
Okay, cool. So that is our second prime trait set. Our third and final prime trait set are going to be roles. Now this is as close as you get to a class in a game like Dungeons and Dragons. However, the big difference is that every character is a little bit of all of them. So it's when you're assigning your dice, you are effectively choosing what percentage of which your character is. Again, even if you are the toughest of the tough, you eat nails for breakfast, at some point you might have to make a charm roll of some kind. So you'll have a die rating that is associated with charmer. And there are situations that you might get into where you might have to use that as your dice that goes into your dice pool and not your roughneck die, just as an example. All right. So as far as the 6 roles go, which are charmer, prodigy, roughneck, sage, sidler, and soldier. Between those 6 roles, you will assign a D10, a D8, 3D6, and 1D4. Any questions about that?
1d10 or 2d10?
1D10, 1D8,
One.
3D6, and then 1D4.
Okay, got it. And because I'm not a very smart man, can you explain sidler?
I don't know. Sidler, like to sidle up. Sneaky.
Oh,
Do
okay.
things. Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
heard that term before.
Yeah, no. I specifically sat here and fought to try to get terms that felt older than modern day, for some of the things that they would be referencing. But yeah, the description that I have for sidler is there are moments when the less attention you draw to yourself, the better.
Got you.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on roles? No. All right. We are rocking right along here. Okay, so roles was our third and final prime trait set. Again, anytime that you make a roll, you will draw from at least those 3 sets. You'll take a die from each of those trait sets. As an example, if Agent Sam Wolf had to draw and fire his gun for some situation, he might choose, what are you chasing after? Maybe it's somewhat driven by redemption. He could be using disgust, and then maybe soldier. So those would be the dice that he has assigned to each of those things would be what he pulls into his dice pool. Make sense? Sweet. All right. Now, those were our prime trait sets. Going forward, we're going to be talking about trait sets. These are optional trait sets. They work the same way as the prime trait sets. It's just you might not have one of these in every role. That being said, if you think a particular role should have one of these things, then you absolutely can invoke it. And if it's super weird, I might say, well, hold up. Explain that to me. Sell me on it. But for the most part, it's up to y'all's adjudication. So, the first of the trait sets we have are abilities. This is where things get a little more complex, because this is where things like being able to cast magic, things that would normally be like species abilities or traits from a game like Dungeons and Dragons. And these are going to be things that you're going to have to look through the book or talk to me and choose for your character. Between abilities and is it called special assets? Signature
assets.
assets. Thank you, Jason. Yep. Between those two prime trait sets, you will have 10 points that you get to spend on these things. Every time you spend a point, you establish a new ability or a new signature asset at a rating of D6. You can spend another point to increase that, a die type, which is called stepping up in Cortex Prime. So a D6 would become a D8, D8 a D10, D10 a D12, which is the highest die type in Cortex. So, if you don't have access to the book, let me know. Like I said, we'll figure it out. If you do have access to it, the abilities you can choose from start on page 194. Does
And
anybody
we
have
10
Oh, go ahead.
points.
10
Sorry,
points.
we have 10 points between the two of them
Correct. Between abilities and signature assets.
in signature assets. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
Now,
I
we'll
think I
just
looked at the book.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we've got a little bit of time. And like I said, if you need help, just let me know.
How much do they cost a piece again?
So, spending a single point establishes one at a D6 rating.
Sure. And then how much is it to increase them again?
1 point.
I had a quick question, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked something summoning that basically it looks like it gives me some extra dice, but then it states that your summoned creature disappears when it reaches 0 dice. So I guess my question to you is, are there situations where the dice type will decrease in this system,
Yes.
or how does that? Okay,
Yes,
how does that
absolutely.
work?
So, affect a die, when we were talking about like the results of a dice pool, whenever you make a roll, your effect die is usually compared to the effect die of whatever opposing roll that you made. If your effect die is higher than their effect die, then usually you can entirely get rid of a dice from their dice pool.
Oh, wow.
So from future rolls, they won't be able to roll it anymore. Now,
Mhm.
if your effect die is the same as or equal to, but your numerical total was still a success, then what that does is it takes one of their dice and steps it down a die type. So it's less effective. It's just not taken out.
Okay, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Probably have to ask you a little bit more about that in the moment.
Yeah,
but yes,
absolutely.
I think it makes sense.
It's very odd and confusing at this point, and it probably will be at some points in the future too. But that's the overall gist of how it works.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like signature assets,
Mhm.
is that technically like, if I'm understanding that as being like our equipment, for example, in the example you're using for Sam, I would have an asset for my gun and I would get a die for that.
So,
Understanding that correctly?
yes and no. So signature assets are a little more specific than that. Like Sam Wolf could have a gun and could use a gun, and it could be, something that he uses often throughout the game, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a signature asset. Now, if you choose to make your gun a signature asset, then it is Excalibur to Arthur. It is like a notable part of your character. And so when you call upon it, it's because you are invoking the gun as a narrative device, something that has power. You're not simply firing a bullet. You're changing the outcome of the scene because of the gun, if that makes sense. It's real abstract.
Okay.
Okay.
I kind of dig that.
Yeah, it's a really neat part of Cortex. Again, they're like, yeah, if you have guns, shoot them. That's what they're there for, blah, blah, blah. But if you have like a gun with a capital G, then it's, it is something specific to your character.
Now, I haven't looked through the book for that yet, but are there specific things in there? Because I got an idea.
There are not.
Of two things immediately. Oh, okay. And like right off my head, he has brass knucks and a Smith & Wesson Model 19. That's
Okay.
his.
Yeah.
So that would be like 2 points spent right there.
To establish them at a D6, correct.
At a
If
D6,
you
okay.
wanted them,
You know.
if you wanted to step those up, then those would be additional points.
Got you. Okay, cool. Cool.
So like Excalibur, going back to that example, would probably be rated at a D12 because again, that's the highest die type that you can get. It would be like, again, you pull it out and you hear choral music. You know, it is a central piece. You know, when it gets drawn, the camera focuses on it. That's kind of the thing we're talking about.
Oh, I hear something.
Perfect. Okay. So that covers signature assets and abilities, unless anybody has any other concerns or questions about either of those two trait sets. No? Does anybody else have any others that they want to share, either abilities or signature assets? You don't need to feel pressured if you don't want to. If you want to save them, that's perfectly fine.
I have a signature asset. I don't have abilities yet. My signature asset is Leviticus tool pouch.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Daddy's tool built.
That is too built. I have 2 signature
Okay.
assets that I have thrown in. One is a shawl that Mema made. And it said, if you look close enough, it looks like it's covered in skulls screaming.
Yes, you showed me that picture.
And
So
then,
good.
and then the other one is Mama's locket
Oh.
with a family photo inside of it. And occasionally, if she listens real close when it's really, really quiet, she can hear Mom's voice.
I get like a total old gods of Appalachia vibe from your character, and I love it.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yep. Which is very on brand for Elsewhere. It is very much in the same vein as this setting, as I understand it, at least. Perfect.
I had a question, Jeremy, and also
Yeah,
I have a
absolutely.
signature asset as Freddy's boxing gloves. It just feels appropriate with him
Perfect.
being a boxer. This is going to sound really weird, but I'm just going to ask anyway. How likely do you think it is that we are going to encounter airless environments in this trilogy?
Airless environments.
Airless environments.
I can go ahead and let you know that that's probably not very likely.
Okay, cool. I will
Unless somebody throws something at me where like, my character has a phobia of suffocating. Well, then maybe there might be something like that. But
Doesn't everybody?
Depends on the person.
Some people like that.
I guess that's true.
Some people pay extra for that, Baron.
Yeah, it's true. Exactly.
I think that I'm kind of struggling with the abilities and assets for Sam. Like, I'm trying to find abilities that will fit the kind of detective vibe I'm going for.
You wear a duster?
I do if it's a good idea.
No, I mean, you're a detective. Do you wear a duster? I mean, all
For
detectives
sure.
I know wear a duster. Do you wear a duster? To some detectives, that shit's like armor, man.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it could provide you some kind of literal defensive bonus. Because again,
sorry,
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to mention, I also, through talking about the gun and everything and everybody else's signature assets, I think I want to get with you and make Sam's badge a signature asset of some kind.
Oh, that's exactly. Yes.
See what it does. I don't think it's something that would come up often, again, because of his whole, feeling like a failure. But I do feel like that would be, if there's any redemption, that may come into play.
Yeah, and signature assets require a little bit more legwork because they do typically manipulate the way that the game functions in some way. Whenever you call upon them, it might be things like it lets you keep an extra die towards your dice total whenever you use it, or it might let you keep an extra effect die or to step up an effect die. So there's ways that it manipulates the rules, and so working out how that those specifically will function in the context of the game is a really good idea. So we can definitely spend some time doing that. But yeah, and again, Elsewhere is already a pretty great setting for that kind of abstractness. My character in the game that we played, that Baron ran, was a baseball player, and he had been on the team that won the World Series. And so, like, World Series champs was what I called my armor. So it's literally like the confidence that he had, from having been a part of a winning team is what gave him some actual defense. Like it translated into a literal protection of some kind. Okay. Excellent. So, another trait set that might get called on from time to time is going to be affiliations. Now, particularly in Elsewhere, there are 3 factions that are kind of always vying for sway, for influence. And that is the Stepford, the True People, and the Weird. The way that I understand it is the Stepford is the whitewash, the homogenization, the sameness that is kind of inherent in certain parts of the world. It is, the white picket fence suburbia that is encroaching on, old family land, that kind of thing. I see it very much as being defined like by the phrase conformity. It's very much kind of like what makes up the Stepford in a distilled phrase. The True People are kind of the salt of the earth. People who tradition is important. Upholding, family values and community is very much kind of what I see as the main focus for the True People. And then the Weird is almost kind of a catch-all for everything else. It's the things that give you the willies. It's the things that might be, literal cryptids. It might be feelings and sensations that you get that you can't quite explain. Ghosts, things of that nature kind of all fall underneath the Weird. But the Weird also I see as having like a very strong sense of individuality, very strong sense of self, as opposed to belonging necessarily to a community like the other 2. So basically that's the overview of those 3. Baron, do you want to provide a little more color?
No, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. It's a spectrum. Stepford is a lack of color. Weird is a little bit too much, to where the lines don't
Nice.
really make sense. And True People are the stories that we can read, interpret, see on the silver screen, hear about at the campfire. You and me, buddy.
Could the
Perfect.
Weird reflect not being able to see the world right anymore?
I feel like that perspective would incline that you're a true person because your perspective has changed to seeing the weird. The weird is less like, oh, you are weird now, and it's more like what you were never was anymore.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks for that clarification.
I don't know if that really is. You have to understand that this setting has been like a fever dream since I was like 22. And like we're just getting
So,
it on
like,
paper.
4 or 5 years ago.
Fuck
Right,
you, man.
and
It's like
the
10.
yeah, that cosmic horror vibe that Jason was just talking about. Yeah, that's kind of wise, because that element is like the defining moment of Patterson's like military career, and what really like severed him from being normal, and I didn't know if that would fall
Yeah.
under weird or if because
It
like
could.
knee jerk was like true people, but I don't know. I'm just trying to grasp this.
So the way that I'm
I
going to
mean,
use
it could
them
fall
in the
either way.
game, the way that I'm going to use them in the game is that, again, each of the characters are a little bit of all three. And you get to
For sure.
basically determine what that mix is.
Okay.
So you'll have a die in all of the three different affiliations.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Weird
So-
suits. Love it.
You're going to start with a D8 in one of them and the other two at a D6. And you can step up one of them if you'd like. The only caveat to doing so is that you have to step down another one of them. So like if you wanted to take your D8 and turn it into a D10, then you have to take one of your D6s and cause it to be a D4.
So what does it mean if you have like a high die with one of them? Let's say you put a D8 in true
Mhm.
people. What does that mean? Does that mean that that's where you are like more leaning towards, or could it be that you are like completely against them? Like, is it a both thing, or is it like how does that really work?
It's kind of a, again, almost like emotion is, where it's your character understands that better or does better in situations involving that particular group.
So they don't
so-
necessarily have to like that group to have a high die
Correct.
type in it.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you were like a particular like hunter of the weird or whatever, then your weird die might be your highest. Yeah. Again, it's going to be kind of a, it's going to work out in gameplay where you're going to be drawn to using your highest die that you can in your dice pool. So the higher a die is in any given thing, the more likely you're going to be to interact with that part. And then again, there will be times where if a given encounter deals strongly with one of the three factions, I might call on you to add your affiliation die for that particular group to your roll. So if you put a D4
And these are the
in one
ones-
of the groups, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, these are the ones you wanted to know, but we were to keep secret from each
Yes,
other.
please. Yeah, keep secret from one another, at least for the first session or so. So, anytime where you're going to add, that die, you don't have to say what type of die you're adding. You can just say, I'm adding my Stepford die or my, True People die or whatever.
And we are adding a 6, 8, and 10, respectively.
No, 1d8 and 2d6s, and then you can alter those, but you have to take away from something else to increase.
Cool. I dig it.
Right on.
We
Okay.
back up for a second to the abilities and
100%.
secret assets.
Mhm.
Can it go above a D10?
Yes. Yeah, you can go to a D12. It just costs you the points to do so. So if you establish it
I
at
have
D6,
1 point out right now, and it's like,
Yeah.
what do I do with this point?
you might as well. It's just, again, just keep in mind that whatever that is, it's going to be like an epic version of that thing.
Yeah, I can do whatever the fuck I want with this tool pouch, Jeremy. It's a big deal. You need
It's a
some?
very big
Bam!
deal.
I got it.
He pulls out a fucking floor jack.
Think I was fucking kidding?
Excellent. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about affiliations? No. Okay. All right. Rocking right along is relationships. So, this is going to be probably the one that changes the most during the course of the game, because as of right now, most of your characters are not going to have establish relationships with the other PCs or most of the NPCs that you're going to be coming across during the course of the game. But you can, if you have a reason to and you want to, you can go ahead and establish a relationship now before we actually start the game. But you can also, like I said, you can establish them during the course of the game itself. Whenever any new character or group is introduced, if you decide in the moment, hey, it makes a lot of sense that my character would have a past with this person or this group, you can spend a plot point to establish a relationship with them on the spot, right then and there. And it comes in at a D6. You can spend additional plot points to step up that relationship if you wish, whenever you're establishing it.
How would
Any
dice be in relation to the relationships?
What was that?
How would dice be affecting relationships? Like, what would be rolling for? I can't speak tonight. Jesus.
You're good. It's cold out. It's
Well, I can give an example from a game that we played.
yeah, please do.
Because let's say
Please.
Ariana had a D10 relationship die with Dane. So she was able to invoke that when Dane was in trouble and she went to help him. She invoked that relationship die because it's very close. She's going to try extra hard to get him whatever fix. So
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I get it.
So I'm assuming, have you seen Firefly, the TV show? Jason? Uh-oh.
Hello? Am I here?
Can you hear me? Yep. Have you seen the Firefly TV show?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Okay. Do you remember the scene where Mal and Wash are being tortured together?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. When Mal is trying desperately to keep Wash from giving up,
Yeah. Okay.
he would be using his relationship die that he has with Wash in that scene for the roles that he's making.
see, that could also go against
I'm
you
on board.
because if his
can.
bestie is being tortured because of him, it might hurt what he's going to do because he doesn't want his bestie to be tortured.
It could, very much so.
I have a complete understanding of it now. Yes. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yep. So now that everybody has a better understanding of it, we're going to get even weirder with it. So every relationship that you establish, I would also like for you to tie it to one of the emotions from your prime trait sets. So the defining emotion of that relationship for you.
And these
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. So, I'm sorry.
go-
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say we got 5 points to spend before we start the game. Is that, or is that because that's what
Let me
it's
see.
reading? But
Is that what I wrote? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's right below. They could be positive or negative, but they must motivate or empower your character. You have 5 points to spend on these beginning relationships, which you may use to either establish new entry or step up one that you already have. It's the third sentence, I think, from the top.
Then yes, absolutely 5 points in the beginning here. That does not have any bearing on the relationships that you might establish during the course of the game.
so I'm going to throw out that I
And-
have established a relationship with Sam Wolf. Like, I don't actually know any of these people at this moment, but I'm going to establish that because once we meet, there's going to be a thing there. So a relationship with him, and it's going to be based on fear.
Okay, perfect. Also to note, when you establish a relationship with someone else, it does not have to be reciprocated.
Cool.
Not only the establishment of the relationship at all, but also the die rating does not have to be the same.
And that kind of answers my question, that these relationships are purely between us and not anybody outside of the group, like
So
backstory NPCs or anything.
it can be with NPCs or with even like groups or factions. So like Cornelius, Baron's character, might have a relationship die with his union.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it may or may not come up during the course of the game, but it might.
Okay, so if in my own head I'm constantly arguing with the memory ghost of a former soldier, former Marine comrade, I could.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. Yep. That's exactly the kind of thing that it should be used for.
And
Oh,
is it this?
Go ahead.
Is it the same where 1 point you get a D6? If you add another point, it would be a D8. Like, is
Mhm.
that still the same 1 point
I
for
believe
upping
so
it?
in the beginning as well.
Seems
Or
that
step
way.
up one that you already have. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And we're not required to spend all 5 points, right? Just
No,
whatever
not at
we
all.
feel.
Nope. You can go into this having 0 established relationships if you want.
Are those 5 points useful at all, though, once we get into the actual game, or
No.
would they do anything for us if we? Okay.
No,
Okay.
use
So
them or
basically,
lose
you
them.
either spend them or you lose them. Got it.
Yep, exactly. So I can also choose to activate a relationship in a given scene, if it seems reasonable. In doing so, I give you a plot point if you're okay with me doing so. So I offer you a plot point in exchange for doing that, and if you say yes, then you get a plot point, and I get to do that, and I get to create a complication in the given scene equal to the die type that you have in that relationship. Going back to the example of using Cornelius and his union, if for some reason I decided that there was going to be an issue, a potential problem that was caused by the fact that he had this connection, then I could say, hey, Baron, I want to invoke your relationship that you have with your union. Are you willing to let me do that? And if he says yes, he gets a plot point, and I create a complication in the scene equal to whatever die rating that he has in that relationship. Complication is something that I get to roll whenever I make my rolls. So it adds to my dice pool. Okay.
Do you want us to send any relationships that we have to you, or how do you want to handle that?
Yeah, probably.
Like pre-existing ones. Okay.
Mm-hmm. What I would probably ask
Can
is
I
that
say mine? Can I just say
if you
mine?
want to say them, yeah, absolutely, disclose them. Wait, do you have one with your union guy?
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit.
Duh, man.
See, that's why it's like, let's talk about it, because I don't even have to come up with it. You came up with the union for me. It's like, yeah, that's a good one. And like, Top Jason is talking about his character's military background, and though it's not 1-to-1, my character. All right, so in the lore of this setting that I've bullshitted, there's this rebellion between the labor workers and the interstate authority, and basically people were tired of being abused in the workplace, and they went to war about it. There's no like real descriptive, like the battle of this or this place. It took place in a nondescript time and place, but I was in it, and it sounds like you were too. So it makes sense that maybe we know each other.
War never changes.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, I think that Opal would kind of have a relationship with Cornelius because the whole union worker, labor worker, her daddy was a miner. That would very much remind her of her dad.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm all set. Good job, folks.
Pack it up, everybody. Yeah. Excellent. So that covers all of our other trait sets. Again, not every role will have these as a part of them, but if any given role seems like it makes sense for you to invoke them, you absolutely can do so. Okay. Mods, I don't know if we need to go into all of that necessarily. A lot of that is going to be stuff that is on my end, as far as like, crisis pools and the Doom pool. Hero dice is something that we should probably talk about. If you beat an opponent's roll by 5 points or more, that's called a heroic success, and you earn a hero die. The hero die that you earn is equal to the highest die that was rolled in the opposing dice pool. So if your opponent had a D10 amongst the dice that they rolled, and you get a heroic success, then your hero die is at a D10. And you get to use that later. Anytime that you roll, before I announce the outcome of that roll, you can spend a plot point to roll and add a hero die from your cache to your total. Yeah. Oh, on the same thing. Like I said, if you beat it by 5 points or more, that you earn a hero die. But if you beat it by 10 points or more, then you earn 2. And so on. Any questions about hero dice? These D20s. Stress. We're all familiar with that, aren't we? In this game, however, stress is going to be represented by either physical stress or mental stress. You will need to track both of them, but I will also be attempting on my end to track them on screen. I can tell right now that Baron is under extreme physical stress. So his physical stress is at a D10. But I can also see that Karen is under extreme mental stress. So I am going to go ahead and put a D12 on her screen. Mental stress will be designated by the blue dice that you'll see, and physical stress will be designated by the red dice. Like I said, y'all keep track of it too, so that way, whenever I go, I think that was supposed to change, what are you supposed to be at? You can help remind me, because you're all very helpful people. That's why I love you. One of the many reasons. The way that stress works in the game, it's kind of an abstraction of your health overall. If you fail a roll, you gain stress that is equal to the effect die of the roll that you were trying to oppose. If you have stress already and an effect die is higher than that, then it simply replaces it. So like if you had a D4 mental stress and somebody did something that was mentally stressful to you at a D8 effect die, then your stress jumps from a D4 to a D8. If it was equal to or less than, then it simply steps your stress die up one type. So if you were at a D4 mental stress and somebody did something mentally stressful with a D4 effect die, then your stress would go from a D4 to a D6. If you are at a D12 in either one of the categories, and that type gets stepped up again, then you are taken out of a scene. You are no longer able to affect what's going on, either through mental fatigue or physical fatigue, or possibly, in extreme situations, death or insanity. So,
Is death a thing?
oh yeah, death is always a thing.
How do we die? I mean, besides
Painfully.
horribly.
No. I don't really think that there is a mechanic way in Cortex, or at least in the setup that we currently have, for a character to just outright die. It would be more of a situation where your character gets taken out of a scene, and for you as a player, narratively, that's the outcome that makes the most sense.
I got you. Okay.
As far as recovering from stress, anytime that you have a scene that is rest or recovery kind of focused in nature, then you can step down one or both of them. So like if you have both of them, if you have dice in both of your stress types, then you can step both of them down during a scene of rest. Okay. Any other questions about hero dice or stress or any of that? No? Okay. I want to jump back up for just a moment and touch on growth. So because this is a trilogy, you will have 2 opportunities at growth after each session, basically. So just between each of our 3 sessions, you're going to earn 3 XP. And you can either hold on to those or spend them between each of the sessions. It's up to you. But there are a number of ways that you can spend your XP to improve things for your character. You can switch out a distinction or a trait statement for a new one. Like if something that you decided on in the beginning for your character just really isn't kind of like working, or you don't feel like you're getting enough mileage out of it, you can swap for a point. You can turn an asset from a session into a signature asset or a relationship. That's one of the things about relationships I should have touched on. When you establish them in the moment, they last for that session only. You have to spend a point at the end of the session to turn it into a permanent relationship. And then you can step up one of your roll dice or one of your ability dice for 3 points. And you can step up a signature asset or a relationship for 2 points. I think that's really everything that we need to touch on. Plot points, like I said, are very much a meta currency. There's a bunch of different ways that you can spend them in the game. They're really not supposed to be difficult to earn. I will be doing my best to try to give them out as frequently as it makes sense to. And you should absolutely spend them. Like, don't die with potions in your backpack. Same. And then near the bottom of the doc here, we also have an index of terms. Feel free to find anything that you don't quite understand there. Hopefully it'll explain it. Throughout the doc, I tried to boldface type and proper noun anything that was like a specific game mechanic term. So hopefully that helps you with understanding, or at least finding the information that you need when you're reading through it. If not, again, please ask me. I would rather that you understand the why and the how than you just simply roll it just because somebody told you to. And at the very, very bottom, we have our cope list, which looks like some of you have been adding to, which is fantastic. I'll go through and snag all of that before session 1. So yeah, I know that, like I said, we went through that at lightning speed, but does anybody have any glaring questions or concerns about the rules that they want to bring up?
I do have a question. I'd like to jump right back up to distinctions.
Distinctions, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because there is a sentence that says, well, we're talking about each distinction will have an SFX.
Yes.
But 2 of them we create together, and they are locked for, what does locked mean? This means they're not available our first session? Is that
Correct.
what that means? Okay.
Yep. So basically, each of your distinctions in the beginning for the first session will only have the hinder SFX, which is the one where you can swap out the D8 for a D4 for a plot point.
Gotcha.
Between sessions, you get to choose a new SFX for each of one of your distinctions. So you'll get 3, essentially. And again, the SFX they're kind of the... I'm trying to think of a great way to explain them. They're kind of like specific examples of how that can manipulate the mechanics in some weird way. I'm trying to think of a good example. SFX are one of the things that are kind of, for me, they're kind of difficult to nail down as far as like a description, because they're kind of like an evolution of an existing game mechanic. So like the hinder SFX is a good example. So normally when you're rolling your distinction, you're adding your D8. The fact that it has the hinder SFX means that in addition to that aspect of the way that this functions, you have this secondary functionality that it performs. Given in a specific situation, you can choose to roll a D4 instead of a D8, and if you do so, you get a plot point. It's kind of an if and then type situation. I will work with all of you on how to establish those and like what makes sense as far as like game balance and all that kind of stuff as we go along. But they're a little abstract.
They almost kind of remind me, I was thinking about this when I was kind of looking through the book and at the different abilities and stuff, because the abilities, you can also get SFXs with abilities. It looks like when you spend points in them, it almost kind of reminds me, just because, again, I know a lot of us are familiar with D&D, it kind of makes me think of like meta magic options for sorcerers. Like if you can take this pre-existing mechanic, like you said, you can almost like clarify it and get it to do something else.
That's a great way to put it.
It is kind of weird, but it's also, I mean, it makes for some crazy customizability, especially with some of these abilities. They start off very like basic, but you can get really nuanced with it, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, Jason.
Okay, I have another question, because
I might
full of them tonight.
have a better answer, I hope.
Emotions. Okay. So we've got the one that's desire. Now, are we talking just strictly like lust, or are we talking all types of desire? Like I really, really want that shiny thing.
Yes, exactly. Okay. All types. It is, how much of a pull, does that have on your character? Or adversely, how much are they in control of their desire? It could be lust, or it could be the piece of chocolate cake that's been sitting there in front of them for half an hour.
What do you mean sitting there for half an hour? It'd be gone in 10 minutes.
Well, then that tells me something about what die you might have. So, yeah, it's meant as more encompassing than specific. Kind of the id, I guess, if you will. All right. I know it was very much a drinking from the fire hose type experience. I've run Cortex a number of times, and every time I sit down with it, I have the same sensation at first. So we're all in this together. It is an interesting system. It is not without its warts, I will tell you. But I have run some really interesting game sessions with it. And it is particularly good in games where there's not necessarily going to be a lot of combat, because it gives us the opportunity to put a stronger mechanical focus on things like emotions and relationships. So hopefully it ends up being a pretty good fit for elsewhere. Excellent.
I really dig it, man. And the way you explain the rules makes it seem pretty intuitive play. I'm a big fan of more of a vague and more abstract way of looking at rules anyway. So this seems right up my kind of alley, man.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited to hear that. Yeah, I like spreading the love as far as like quirky game systems. And the nice thing is, again, like with the way that Cortex works, is if you did decide that you wanted to run a really combat heavy game, you can do that with this system too. You just pick different trait sets. So
It's kind of like Genesis that way, isn't it?
I am somewhat familiar with Genesis. I've played one game, one campaign in Genesis, run by Karen, where I got to play a sky pirate. Not a pirate, a privateer. But it's been a little while, and I don't know that I remember Genesis very well.
Lots of
Jason was
dice.
there. We were there.
Oh.
Jason was too.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's all the it's got the purple dice and the green dice and the yellow dice.
Mhm.
It's very similar to Star Wars, Fantasy Flight Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. That's where.
Yeah. Okay, I remember
I
now.
don't
Yeah,
remember your
I
character's
was
name.
just meeting
My character's name?
Angus.
Oh, yours?
Wasn't it Angus?
August? August. I don't remember your.
There's
Oh, man.
Captain Fisk.
I gotta show
Yeah,
some-
Brontis Fisk. That's what I
Bronson
remember.
Fisk. Yep,
Bronson Fisk.
that was a fun game.
Man,
I think I have
what's
my
his
notes
name?
up here.
I'll have to find that carry sheet. I've got it somewhere. But I was referring to like the modular nature of it. Like if you want it for this, you can use this.
Mm.
If you don't like that, you can take that out. You can use this over here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, and again, the fact that it kind of has that one simple conflict resolution system kind of at the core of everything else, that's kind of what lends itself well to the modularity of it. Because at its heart, it's always that same core principle. Sweet. Does anybody have anything else that they want to table before we call it a night? Argus. There you go. Yeah.
I'm just want to throw out there that I'm glad we did this for a system like this, because even some of the stuff that I thought I had a grasp on and thought I had figured out, as far as on my character sheet, hearing it out loud and looking at it again on paper and kind of hearing everybody's discussion on it, I've already decided there's a couple of things I need to adjust that'll fit my character better. And again, it's things that reading over it, I definitely thought I had a grasp on, but hearing other people talk about their characters and hearing you explain it and kind of read it off to us, it clicked. And I was like, I need to adjust these two emotions because it would fit my character better.
Good. I'm
I feel
very
you,
glad.
Nathan. I feel you, Nathan. I'm a lot the same way. Reading it is like one level, but you really have to kind of like, I have to really kind of get into it before it really starts to snap into place.
Oh, dude. I didn't even read it till today when we said we're having a session 0. I feel like we're having a session 0. I was like, I got time.
Yeah. I don't learn games by reading them very well at all.
Yeah.
I learn best by playing them.
Yep.
So,
Me too,
and
bro.
Cortex in particular is one of those games I don't play it frequently enough, and I'm pretty sure I've never played it completely correctly. So I definitely kind of have to reteach myself every time that I decide to use it. So, but we'll get there. Like I said, we've got the book. If we have to fall back on that, we can. If not, I'm used to just saying fuck it and just making a decision in the moment and Who knows whether it'll work or not, but does it really matter? In the
It's all
end,
good TV
it's not like it's being recorded for posterity or anything.
for the world.
So let them see.
Show them.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this game. Like I said, I enjoyed the time that I got to spend in Elsewhere in the game that I played, and I have taken a deep dive into kind of the vibe that I want for this game, this version of Elsewhere, if you will, and I'm very excited for it. So, yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to showcasing kind of what I got, but also exploring the very complex, very well thought out characters that all of you seem to already have ready to go. So, thank all of you for putting all the time and the effort and the energy into thinking of these characters and bringing something that's going to be memorable, no doubt. All right. I want to pass things back over to my players so that they can say any kind of parting thoughts that they might like, and then we're going to put a bow on it for the night and be back here in 2 days. So we're going to start in reverse order with Jason on the bottom.
Like how that's become my thing. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I'm very much looking forward to Friday. It cannot come soon enough. Yeah, thank you so much, Jeremy. Thank you so much, Baron, for creating this incredible setting, and looking forward to seeing how these people just get into the worst possible scrapes possible. So yeah, very, very excited. Pass it on to the next person.
That would be Nathan. Next person.
I am very excited too. Again, I feel like the setting's kind of right up my alley of things I'm interested in and into, and kind of the world my brain lives in a lot of the time. So I think once the system clicks and I get like a full grip on the setting and actually step into the shoes of this character, I think it's going to be a wild but fun ride. I said it in our side chat as we were kind of talking about our characters, and I'll say it out loud now. I feel like there's going to be some tears in this game if it's going the direction I think it's going to end up going. So that'll be fun too.
With this group, it's a very good possibility. It's a very good possibility.
Listen, I rewatched our Dune trilogy recently.
Ooh, yeah.
And had moments in that where I was almost in tears, and I was in that game.
jeez.
So I can only imagine what this game's gonna do.
This
Mhm.
game's gonna be gnarly. I'm so excited.
This game's gonna get dark, beyond a doubt, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. All right. Speaking of here for it, next up is Baron.
My friends are really nice and say very nice things to me. I like it, but it's like an 8-page document at most, so take it though, you will. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'll see you guys in 2 days.
Oh yeah, man. Hey man, don't knock it. Like even at 8 pages, it's a considerable chunk. And it's just very evocative. There's not a lot of like parallel Americana settings out there. So
I mean,
dig
it
it.
says a lot that it's only 8 pages, and yet it resonates so much with us, and it is so
mhm.
Words don't describe it. It like it pulls you in, it draws you in so much with just
It's
8
vomit.
pages. So
It's what?
What?
we love you.
Glorious. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Once we started talking about a lot of the abstractions, again, the character that I played, being a baseball player, and how I could, what does that look like as armor or, a weapon for a character? And Baron kind of started working through all of that. I was like, I think I get it. I think I get it. And it's really cool. All right. Speaking of really cool, next up is Jason on the top.
Why you gotta lie on him?
The Tree of Gondor made me do it.
Oh man, hey, hail to the king, baby. I am looking forward to this so freaking much. Like the getting into this setting. I thought I was going to be kind of the moody one, and seeing everybody else's character is just outstanding. Like, I cannot wait to get into this, and I second Nathan. Like, not only do I think there'll be tears, I hope there are.
Oh yeah. What happened? What did I miss? Did I skip Sarah?
You monster.
Sarah doesn't get to go. Not yet.
I'm so offended.
Last but certainly not least. Karen. Not quite last. Not quite least.
I love it because the segue was so appropriate, and then just like, skip you.
You had said something, and so I was like, oh, next to Karen is Jason. I just didn't even.
Oh
You
my
guys,
gosh.
you give me way too much credit for how much of this is like planned versus just bleh. I open my mouth and something
I
falls
see
out.
how it is. I see how it is.
You be quiet in your corner over there, Sarah.
Leave me in my dark, spooky corner.
Oh my god.
Nobody put baby in the corner.
And this is why I am so looking forward to Friday and this game, because it's going to be amazing with these people. It's I can't wait. The setting's great, game master's great, players are great. Can we just play now?
No.
I already asked.
Okay, then
her, and
Sarah,
they told me
you
no.
go.
I was gonna say I will call my ass into work tomorrow. I'm cool with that.
I mean, I've
I
already
wanna
been up
deal
for
with the
23
kids.
hours. Let's do it.
Yeah, right.
Goddamn, Jason.
So I'm
All
gonna
right,
pass it to Sarah, 'cause you won't.
Now you can go, I guess.
Thank you. Oh, I feel so special. This is the second time that Jeremy has skipped me, by the way. The second time. I'm kidding. It's fine. I really, I'm not offended at all. Hi. I'm so excited for this. I am so excited. I genuinely love all of the people at this table, and I love whenever we can all get into a game together. So I am very stoked. I cannot wait to see where this goes.
I'm muted. Look at there.
I was about to say, I think you're muted, good sir.
He skipped
Never.
himself.
I skipped. That's how hard I
Karma,
skip.
immediate and instant.
He's like, you're not allowed to talk anymore.
I punished
It will be
myself.
on the honor of
There you
all
go.
results.
What
No, I'm right
happens
there
if
with you.
mess with a witch, dude.
It's
Fucking
true.
idiot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. No, I'm very much looking forward to this game. I love all of you as human beings as well as players, so I'm very excited. This is a slightly larger table than I typically run, but I think it's a good table. I know it's a good table, so I'm looking forward to the weird shenanigans that we're going to get up to on both sides. I think there's going to be a lot of emotional distress that is dealt, but there's also probably going to be a lot of, well, you just saw it. I don't have to explain it. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm glad that there's not a lot of time that's going to pass before our first session. So if all of you could, when you manage to get them filled out on a fixed character sheet, which I will do before I log off on my computer tonight, send me your character sheets filled out and finished. So that way I can, choose my weapons Yeah. I think that's about all. Go ahead.
I don't know if mine and Karen's are gonna get to you by Friday, since we printed ours out and filled them out on paper. Snail mail might
true.
not get there.
And take a picture. You send it to me that way.
It'll last longer.
You take a picture, it'll last longer. Cool. I don't think there's any other business that I need to touch on before we go ahead and call it a night. I've already kept you long enough. Thank all of you very much for sitting in on our session 0. It is appreciated. If you do like this kind of content, then come back on Friday. And the Friday after that. And the Friday after that. And then you'll see all of the sessions of this game. But there's also other stuff on the channel too, if you like that kind of stuff. You weirdo. So yeah, if you do enjoy the content that you find here on this channel, do all the stuff that the algorithm likes to see. Hit the like button, subscribe, watch other stuff, comment, share the links around, talk about it with your friends. Try Cortex. Try that out. Try out elsewhere if you can manage to find the documentation for it. I highly recommend it. To all of you fine human beings, thank you. I love you. I will see all of you on Friday, and I will do my best to hurt you. All right. Remember, everyone, that kindness is a free action. It costs you absolutely nothing to be kind to people, and holy fucking hell, do we need a lot of kindness in the world right now. So, as I coined last game, be nice. Fuck ice. Yeah, go out there, be nice. Unless they're Nazis or fascists, and then you should kick them in the nuts as hard as you can. Cool. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. So, until next time, may your dice roll high, and your snacks always be within reach.